beg you, consult for me. Show me the way. I beg.
Okay. So I said lessons from To Kill a Monkey. First of all, thumbs up to the entire cast and crew, the producer, the writer of the movie, Kemi Adetiba. She did such an amazing job. Like the hype is very real. They finished talking that movie. So very quickly, the lessons that are in the movie, there are a lot, but I'll be focusing on the money lessons that are in that movie. First and foremost, I want you to know this thing I'm about to say. Just because you are broke does not mean you're empty. Just because you are broke does not mean you are poor. Being broke is not equal to being poor. I know it's not popular opinion, but it's the truth. And I'm going to prove it to you based on what happened in that movie. You know, if he was going through a lot of financial struggles, we all saw it. And because of what had been happening to him, which I won't really blame him because I don't know what his background was, he allowed the things that happened to him mess up with his mind, which is understandable because the guy had been through a lot. This was someone that had gone to school. He didn't come from a good home, but he believed that education was the way. He went to school. He put in effort to finish with a first class. Yet it was worth nothing. He suffered. He toiled, and then yes, nothing was happening. But can I shock you? Even in that his broke state, when Obos met him at the bar, the very first time they reconnected, at that point, why do you think that Obos took interest in him? You know, he could have just said, oh, you saved my life, blah, 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 take this in appreciation. What did you think Obos saw in him in that broke state, even as he was looking tattered and battered by life? Obos saw value in him. Because this guy remembered that back then he was good in tech things, and based on the business he was doing, he knew that I don't know how far this guy would have gone by now, but he'll be an asset to me. If you remember when they were in the office, when he was telling him that, the first time he took him to his office, when he told him that, back then you were forging certificates and all, and the boss was like, oh, sorry, I'm not that guy anymore. And he was like, what do you mean you're not that guy anymore? I thought you would have advanced by now. That means from the word go, when he met him in that restaurant the very first time, he saw him as an asset. Now, because of what if he had been through, at that point he didn't even see anything good in him because his pockets were empty. He did not know that he had something buried in him, despite his started state, that was worth millions of dollars. Even though it was in a negative way. But let me tell you, the fact that it could happen that way, in a negative way, is proof that there's a divine deposit in him that could have brought about that money legitimately. Which is true because if the other tech company guys, the other where he went to make the presentation, if he had given them the opportunity, if he had given them the opportunity to speak, he would have made that company money. He would have made them millions of dollars. So he had something in him that was worth that much. Yet, because he didn't know, because he didn't just believe, because he had been battered and tattered by what was happening to him, he settled for less and got himself in trouble at the end of it. So what does that tell you? No matter, don't the Bible, Jesus said something. He said, a man's life does not consist of the abundance of the things he has. And that thing is so true. You know, there's something the Bible calls the deceitfulness of riches. Money can deceive you. And it's both ways. When some people have money, they feel they have, because they have cash, they have everything. It's a lie. A big one. Some people also think that because they don't have money, they don't have anything. That's also a big lie. No matter how you look at it, if you equate your life, your worth, your value with paper, currency, you have missed it. You have missed it. So that's number one lesson. Number two lesson, you see bad money? Bad money comes with demons. Bad money. I've heard a lot of reviews. People were saying, what's her name? Nosa was an evil, ungrateful woman. Nosa was this, Nosa was that. Nosa was not always that. That lady was a sweet lady from the beginning, someone that stood by her husband, despite was defending him, even when her mother was always insulting the man. She was not a bad lady. At what point did she become that person? When bad money entered. You see, bad money doesn't come alone. It comes with its own demons. When she started eating that tainted money, remember that this is sweat of people. This is people's sweat that you are taking by fraud. You really think that when that money enters your account, all that comes with, all the only thing that's entered your life is the money? Some people are cursing you. Some people can go to any length to make sure they inflict pain on whoever it is that made them go through that. Even though they were doing it to big companies, but let me tell you, big companies are made up of small people's investment. So bad money doesn't come alone. I believe that she was a good woman, but at the moment that that money entered their lives, things began to spoil. Things will have to spoil. You cannot eat bad money in peace. It's not possible. It's only the blessing of God that makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. You cannot eat bad money peacefully. Lie. It will come with demons. And we also saw what happened to Ife's daughter. Because really, what was she angry about? What made her so mad at her father? At the same man that you think that she should be happy and grateful for. And they are the demons. The same demons. When they come in, they scatter everywhere because this girl from the beginning was so respectful. She loved her father. She respected him. All of a sudden, she started misbehaving and all of that. Bad money doesn't come alone. That is lesson 2. Lesson 3. Wealth is spiritual. Here you see what's the name of that? I don't know what his name was. That man with big belly at the beginning. That was, I think, if he's supervisor or whatever. You know what he told him? He said, I will tell you one thing, go for deliverance. Even though it was funny, if you think about it, my dear, people were following that guy. Because even in wealth, he had trouble. Obos had trouble, oh, but if his trouble was serious, yeah. So if he had really taken that advice, I believe that God would have intervened. Maybe that time he met with those people, his laptop would not have been taken. Somehow, God, because if only I had gotten that chance, his whole life would have changed. But then the story would not be interesting, right? We would not have enjoyed the story because the writer obviously had an end in mind. But that's just it. You can't do this life with ordinary eye. You can't do life with ordinary eye. Wealth is spiritual. It takes power. It takes power. And if you are not on the other side, receiving money from the other side and receiving the demons that come with it, you have to be. You cannot afford to be neutral. You cannot. You cannot, because the devil is ready to trouble you so that you fall victim and go to this side. So if you know that you want money with peace, you have to do it with God. You should have just prayed. We never saw him pray. I don't know what his spiritual life was like. But maybe if he had prayed, if he had come, because he had it in him already to be successful. He was a man of character. Honestly, if he was a good man, in my opinion, he was a good man. He had character, he was hardworking, he wasn't proud, and he was intelligent. So why won't you make it if you have all these things and you have God by your side? He would have made it. Then what was the other lesson? What's the other one? Persistence, yes. Persistence. If they sent 215 mails to those tech guys, the company, 215, with no response. And the guy, they didn't even know that the people on the other end, the tech boss on the other end, noted his name. If he had not double crossed them that day, is double cross the right word? Okay. If he hadn't come to the office that day to wait for the man, I don't think if he would have even known that the man had taken notes of him. My dear, there's a way you pursue something. Thing go tire for you. As she said, are you the one that's been sending me mails? All 215. That was what gave that guy even the mind to say, okay, let's hear what you have. If he was not persistent, if he had not pursued and followed like that, maybe even if the man somehow saw him, there will be nothing to fall back on them. Because I'm sure those mails would have been explaining what he could do, explaining the value he could bring, and all of that. So persistence is key. If you want something, go after it. Go after it. Especially if it is something good and you are willing to go about it the right way. Go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it. So it was an amazing movie. An amazing movie. If you've not seen it, please go and watch it. I hope I've not spoiled it for you, but go and watch it. It's packed full of lessons. Okay. Bye.